Tonight, we leave the comfort of our pre-recorded streams to hop into lobbies live against the snipers and the sickos. This is Best Ball Happy Hour on The Climb. What's up, EJ?
Oh, just suffering through what feels like death. How about you?
I think I'm doing a little better, but hopefully ripping some puppy drafts will be a nice fix for you. So we're going to hop in the lobby here right away. Come join us if you want to draft. Hopefully we get in the same one here, EJ.
Fingers crossed. If not, that's a little disappointing. Oh, I'm right in. Yeah, we sure did.
Let's go.
We sure did. That's awesome. That's fun for a change. I can really make your life suck. Man, what are the odds of that?
Oh, man.
I clicked on mine and I was like, there's no way.
I'm stuck right behind you, so I literally can't broadcast anything that I want to do.
Yeah, that's not good. We got a lot of badges in here too, so this is going to be a pretty good draft, I feel like. I'm actually pretty excited for this one. Just to clarify too, what I mean by death is with all this smoke that's flying in throughout the world, it's literally like making my allergies flare up like crazy, and we have a bunch of people from work that are sick. I work in a hospital on top of that. So I'm like stuffy and then dying in my own way. I'll make this quick and easy to the point pick. So I'm trying to be healthy as much as I can and not like cough up a lung. So if I disappear for 30 seconds, that's what's going on.
Yeah, I got a few familiar names in here. Tried to join some drafts with Hope on the road to 150 last night. Ended up in the overflow both times. Got the dog pound in here as well. So some familiar faces and already getting weird. Garrett Wilson at the 4 spot in this one.
Nothing like it. Got to love it. I don't know. I know there was a clip that came out where Garrett Wilson caught a long touchdown pass or something to that extent from Rodgers today at OTAs.
Yeah, and that was one thing I was going to do during this first draft with the EJ. I took down as many notes as I could from OTAs, and I was just going to go rapid fire through them, hit on them if they move the needle for us at all or not. So,
I mean, that one in particular, he caught a pass. Zach Wilson could have threw that pass for all I'm concerned. I didn't see it. I just heard about it. I saw it was when I was flipping through my Google feeds.
And it's so funny, right? Because you see like a sick highlight from a guy that you're in on, and you're like, "See, I'm totally right." And if it's a guy you don't like, you're like, "Well, it's just OTAs. It doesn't matter."
Right. Well, and you know what's interesting to me is like the last 4 drafts I've done, I've seen Nick Chubb almost go in the first round every single time, which blows my mind. I guess, he's flying up the board. I don't know what his actual ADP is right now, but it seems like it has to be going up.
He's definitely, him and Pollard both have started to creep up out of that 2-3 turn tier a little bit. I've been taking Chubb more just because I do think he's going to continue to rise, but I've also had so many picks in the back half of drafts that I'm like bored of doing the same starts at the turn. So I've started to like take Chubb there just to get different.
No, and I even made that point in the last full draft video that I did that like I'm not going to sit here and try to always go with the cookie cutter CD Amon-Ra stack at the turn now. Like it's there and it's beautiful and it's hard to, it's like something you don't want to turn away, but you almost feel like if you're going to have any variance when it comes to the playoff season, it'd be hard to, cover on other teams.
Yeah. Doesn't look like, aside from Garrett Wilson, this looks like a pretty par for the course room in terms of receivers. So
Yeah.
don't have to worry too much there, I don't think.
No, I'll say
No
T. Higgins
quarterbacks yet. That's definitely been a trend. I think I'm at the point where like I won't take a quarterback in round 2 anymore just because I know there's people out there getting the the Kelsey Mahomes in round 3.
Right, exactly. And it's not as exciting. I mean, like you said, if you're getting it one and oh my goodness, first and the third, can't even compare to first and the second anymore, which it was going all summer so far. That hurts my heart a little bit. That's okay. Let's see. I wish I would have looked at some of my T. Higgins teams right off the bat, just so I would have known what would have been a little bit different. But I know one guy that you like that you're not going to
get. That hurts. I'll definitely take Ramondre with one of these.
Yeah.
I mean, we're kind of past the point of receiver being useful, so we'll get creative here. Get some Jalen Hurts on my team.
I can't argue that. I do love me some Hurts. I'm kind of thinking about going Mahomes because it makes sense for the game stack in the long run, but I don't like any of the receivers. I think I might just double tap running back. I don't have a lot of Derrick Henry or Breece Hall, but I'm going to go Derrick Henry, I think, just because I know he plays Houston in 15 and 17, and I know I can get Houston stacked.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody out there heard, but Tennessee plays Houston twice in the fantasy playoffs.
Yeah. So once that came in the light, I definitely rised a little bit on Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I think actually one thing that did come out, I don't know if it was earlier today, but there was a report about more players being suspended for gambling. No specifics yet, but it sounds like it was, I think the quote was like a healthy number of players are at risk of being suspended.
I know there was one name in particular, and it wasn't anybody relevant to anything we care about.
It kind of reminds me of the COVID season where we're just getting bombs out of nowhere and there's nothing that you could do about it.
Right. No. And that's the part that sucks about that. It's real tough to. I mean, I just remember in our redraft league how we were going about playing it, and it was so awkward and uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Always having a designated last minute, oh, this guy is going to be my flex player if I need him to be.
Dude, that was stressful times. As a league commish of multiple leagues, that was not fun.
Yeah, I don't think we started our dynasty league until the year after that, so I didn't have to think about anything. And then my work league, nobody cares besides me and about 2 other people. That's just a way for me to steal money, I feel like.
Yeah.
It was funny because that was like one thing I vividly remember is like, no offense to them guys, that like the one girl was like, oh, let's throw some money in. I was just trying to get one for fun to get people to talk about football and give us a reason to go out on Sunday. And I just vividly remember the one girl who pretty much knew nothing. I knew she was a Chiefs fan, and that's about it. So her extent of like football knowledge went to Patrick Mahomes and Kelsey. And after that, I was like, yeah, give me whatever you guys want to do. I'm more than willing to put it down on.
Yeah.
I also went, that was the one I went 0 RB in last year, and that turned out to look pretty good.
Yeah. So a couple interesting things that I found from OTAs. Curious if this moves the needle at all for you. Eli Moore being utilized out of the backfield at times during Cleveland camp.
I think it is interesting, and I will say, because I've thought about that actually at work today. That was one thing I did see and ran through my brain. And if he becomes like a Debo light and he still gets like a little bit of work in that kind of stuff, I think that he'll rise a little bit on my board in my eyes, like a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Um,
He's definitely been getting steamed up, and I don't think it's because of that news. I think it's just like the end of the wide receiver cliff has just been creeping up and up.
right. And I think it's sneaky. Fantasy Garage, what's up, buddy? Welcome
I was telling EJ last night about the Eagles double stack that you got last night on Road to 150. Pretty rare for me to get a Lamar Mark Andrews stack and not feel like I've got the best stack in the room.
All right. I didn't realize I was coming up so quickly here. So let's go a guy that I like a whole lot that I think is underrated.
Ugh, man. Definitely getting gross for me at wide receiver here. Switch to the board for a second. So I think I'll grab. I'm kind of out on DJ Moore at this price, especially when I'm not stacking him with Fields. So I'll grab Pittman. A bit of a reach on Godwin, but we'll make the bet on talent there.
Thanks for going quarterback early. You gave me no stress on the Burrow pick there.
Dude, I got sniped on this exact situation by a guy who took Josh Allen in the third. He took Burrow for no reason, and I don't get tilted very much in these drafts, but I was fuming after that one.
Yeah, I would be. Yeah, definitely post that team fantasy. I want to see the full team breakdown. Erwin just showed me the beginning start of it, and I was like, yeah, it doesn't get much better than that. I mean,
no, that's pretty good stuff there.
Yeah, I feel bad that so we're drafting from the 1-2, which makes things very uncomfortable for us on the edge of. It's hard for us to chit chat on everything,
right?
About our strategy.
I mean, at least we both got QBs. I mean, that makes life a little bit easier.
Yeah, I'll say. So where did you start? I'll say I'm gonna pop over. So I'm a little more running back heavy than you right now. So I'm gonna have to be playing catch up there. Luckily, you don't have the Miles Sanders option coming back around for you, most likely.
Yeah, I won't have to worry about that one.
It's a tough one. I wouldn't blame you if you went that route.
I think the nice thing, like you here in the 2-hole, obviously you went double running back and then quarterback. The nice thing is, like, you have a pretty good shot of still getting 2 wide receivers out of that next tier. Like, I think it has to be a really wide receiver heavy room for it to completely dry up before your next pick.
Yeah, because I mean, we got a bunch of people. Like Hope's got 4 wide receivers right off the bat here, so she's gonna be looking running back. I would imagine at this point. I mean, you got values on Ken Walker, 7 spots past ADP right now.
I do like taking him at the end of the 5th. Yeah, that's a nice start there. Steph Diggs, CeeDee Lamb, Debo, D-Hop, Ken Walker. That's fun.
I think Debo's kind of another guy that's been rising on my list without being aware of doing it. Solely for the fact that we do know McCaffrey has the injury history. We know Debo has the injury history. But with McCaffrey being in that backfield, I think just whichever way they want to pass is kind of scary. Because if you line up Debo going one way and CMC going the other way, just my thought process.
I do think one guy that I've wanted to start taking more is Brock Purdy. It's just tough because there's really only 3 options that you want to pair him with,
right?
Unless you pair him with CMC, but I really haven't drafted much CMC at his cost.
No, honestly, I may have only gotten CMC like 2 or 3 times. And I think that's partially because I like Cup a little bit more when I do get the high draft picks. I don't know where you stand on that.
On what? Sorry.
On where Cup versus CMC at the 3 spot.
Oh, I'm Cup. And part of it is just the way the room shakes out. Like
Mhm.
we know there's those running backs at the 2-3 turn. So like if you take CMC, you're kind of locking yourself out of that, I think.
Right. Yeah, I'll say that's right where it gets kind of awkward wide receiver wise for a little bit too. You start getting to the more risky people. Basically, after that Devontae Smith, T. Higgins gap.
Yeah. And even T.
Ooh.
Higgins, I think, is probably a gap below, Chris Olave, Jalen Waddle, those guys.
Yeah. Oh, that sucks. I don't want to go trail on with the recent news of D-Hop visiting. So I might load up on running back here and then not touch. I do think it's interesting that the Minnesota guys are right back next to each other now. I'm gonna play the trade game again here because I want to get Dalvin before he goes to Miami.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah.
I'm normally very pro Pitts, but I've got to get the stack partner with Hurts there. And then I will roll the dice on Treylon here, basically between him or Jahan Dotson for me.
I was gonna say, you mean the guy that I was gonna pick? I don't say you made that one easy for me. All right, so I got to start looking at game stacks too here because I don't have a whole lot of correlation yet. I'm getting at that point where I got to start thinking about that. Let's see. Any other tits out of OTAs that have been lighting your gears?
I mean, there's lots of guys that we like getting some hype. I saw this today. I don't know if this was common knowledge and I just missed it, but Justin Herbert had surgery on his left shoulder earlier this offseason.
I did not hear that one.
So that one was new.
Excuse me. That is new. That's surprising to me, and I haven't heard anything about that.
So here's one that I found that I actually do care about. So the Giants beat writers say Waller's likely to lead the team in targets, and they're reporting it's hard to see a substantial role for Jalen Hyatt. And then I've got another one that goes with it. Jaden Reed's been spending a lot of the time in the slot, but taking some snaps outside. And I just think, I mean, Jalen Hyatt's been a faller. I think his ADP is down to 140 or maybe 150, but he's still going 10 picks ahead of Jaden Reed and Rashid Shaheed. And we at least know that Jaden Reed and Rashid Shaheed are going to be the number 3 wide receiver in their offense. And I don't think we know that with Jalen Hyatt.
I've drafted quite a bit of Reed because I had a lot of Hawkinson initially. So he was like one of those guys that I was super happy to take a flyer on initially. So I'm all about that hype train. That makes me feel nice and warm inside. Cam Akers coming off at 83. How do you feel about Cam Akers? Because I know that's one guy that is very, very questionable going into this year because what I've heard is that he is going to expand on his role that he had last year.
So I actually like Akers. I just have not taken him much because I'm usually scrambling to get my wide receivers before the cliff.
Sure.
But like, honestly, what's the difference? I know you and I don't agree on Miles Sanders, but what's the difference between Cam Akers and Miles Sanders this year?
Miles Sanders has a rookie quarterback, and I think that means they're going to rely on the running game a little bit more and dump offs. That's my main argument for Sanders. I don't think he's going to – and Deontay Foreman last year lit the world on fire here and there with a really bad offense and a really bad offensive line. Or no, their offensive line is good. I don't remember.
So I saw something. The Panthers were ranked 21st on PFF's offensive line grades for last year.
So suboptimal.
And Miles Sanders last year was on the Eagles, who ranked first.
Yeah.
So I guess I don't see there being a huge gap. Like I don't disagree that Sanders should be ranked ahead of Akers. I just think they're in the same tier. So why not take the guy who's going 2 rounds later?
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, it's hard for me to. I don't know, because so there's also touchdown upside with Sanders. I don't know how many he had last year, but it was more than he had, I think, in his career, because it seemed like. But Hurts had 13 rushing touchdowns, and I don't see Bryce Young having half of that.
Yeah, that's fair.
So that would give him a little more goal line work. There's 2 guys I want in particular here quite a bit. I'm nervous about one and not so nervous about the other one. It would be tragic, though, here potentially.
I mean, I feel like
off the board.
I feel like I can guess one of the guys you're going to take here.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm not.
All right, my guess.
That is unfortunate for my Detroit.
Which, by the way, apparently he was the best player at Lions OTAs today.
Which I'm just going to stand by till the day I die. So I'm going Zay Flowers here solely because I'm banking on Dalvin to Minnesota.
Fair enough. So normally I would happily take Watson 14 spots past ADP or take my guy Anthony Richardson, but with Hurts, I feel like I should be pushing it at quarterback a little bit. So start off with Charbonnet. I don't like Michael Thomas. I refuse to take Michael Thomas. So we'll just go A.J. Dillon for Minnesota bring back there.
And I am playing catch up. I am going more. This will probably be more one of my unicorn picks, but I think Juju can be that 10 points a game in a bad week. I'm hoping so, at least.
Yeah, how do you feel about the New England tight ends? Because there's been some discourse lately on Gesicki kind of playing almost the slot role that everybody's projecting Dalton Kincaid to have, which would open up Hunter Henry to kind of be the Dawson Knox of the Patriots offense.
I'm going to tell you that if it's not a late round flyer, Ramondre or Juju for this situation, where I went running back early and then the wide receivers really, really drop off, I don't want anything to do with anything New England.
Interesting.
So I know that obviously their tight ends are going at the end of drafts. So I guess as a game stack late in there, I don't mind. But I don't want to rely on him even as a tight end too.
See, I've been pretty much the only time I'm taking New England is if it's Ramondre or Tyquan Thornton late or the tight ends late. So almost the opposite of what you're doing.
Interesting.
Kristen's joining the show. The best ball gods smiled upon us in this one with the 1-2 spot.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened or why that happened. Made things we definitely have less conversation about what's actually going on. I could talk about everything I want to do for my next pick.
Yeah, can't be telegraphing things as much with EJ picking right before me.
Yeah, it's not fair to you. I do have a couple guys in mind. I have one very obvious one in my mind, but I don't think the one I want is going to get to me.
Yeah, I was looking through my team. I don't have any obvious stack partners for QB2 at this point. So I'm gonna have to figure that out.
Gino got a quarterback run.
Let's see. How do you feel about Juwan Johnson, EJ? There was reports that he's showing a strong connection with Derek Carr in the red zone at OTAs.
So I actually commented this on Garage's last live stream. I'm very much in on Taysom for spike weeks, and I would rather just wait and draft Taysom and hope, as long as I got another tight end that I feel like could be stable, I'd rather just take Taysom.
I think they play such separate roles that I'm happy taking both of them, just not on the same team.
Sure.
But I am with you. I've taken my fair share of Taysom.
It's just like the more Taysom appears, the prettier it is in my eyes. Because he's going 170s ish right now, 173 ADP right now. I think it's a pretty nice spot to get a guy that could score 25 points. That's more likely to score 25 points than anybody else that's even going close to that range.
It's nuts. I mean, you think if those 30-point weeks that he had last year had come in the fantasy playoffs, I mean, he'd be a top 100 pick easily, I think.
No. And that's just where my logic is with that. I think he's a great spike week player.
Especially if you're doing a 3 tight end build. He's such a good pick for a 3 tight end build.
Like my ideal tight end room would be somebody like a Freiermuth who seems consistent. Like his floor is probably going to be around 6 to 8 on his bad weeks, which is better than most, I would say. That sucks. I wanted Tyler Boyd there. But then to have Taysom come in and have those big spike weeks here and there would be very, very nice.
Right. Here's one, since we're kind of in their range. Well, I'll let you make your pick, but it's about the Washington running backs.
We do. This is very one-sided. I'm not going to go that route this time, but I might do something even grosser later. Well, maybe not. I'm trying to correlate where my ADPs are with the people that I want, see how badly I got to play the game. A-Chain's kind of slipping a little bit here.
There he goes.
Dude,
I do think the Dalvin Cook news is scaring people on the Miami running backs a little bit.
I can tell you that when I did it last time, it was not even close to where I was. Like every time I felt like I brought up a main player, then I was like, oh, I think I'd be okay drafting them. It was like, nope, that wasn't very nice of you.
Sorry, I took our guy Eli Mitchell there. Feeling a little thin at running back.
I don't like this pick. Well, I'm going to go. I'm looking between Mingo and Gallup. I'm probably going to go Mingo because I like the upside. I missed my pick. Oh, no, I didn't. I was like, I had him queued up, and instead I missed my pick. I like Mingo the most because I think there's the most upside with rookie. I'm just hoping for the best on that one. That one's a little scary to me.
I like Mingo when you are starting off a little thin at wide receiver or trying to catch up. He's kind of a nice pick in this range. I'd rather have him than some of the older veteran guys that go in this range.
Adam Thielen, you mean?
Oh, God. I do have one share of Adam Thielen, and it's 30 spots past ADP.
I remember I was telling you about it when I was like, oh, I think I'm going to take him at ADP. I have a lot of the Carolina. I don't know what it is. That Jacksonville-Carolina game just seems like it could be one that's really, really spicy. Like that could be those 50-point games apiece.
I feel like the problem I have is by the time I, start taking a Mingo or a Chark, a lot of the other Jacksonville guys are gone. Like unless you're grabbing a Tank Bigsby, it's hard to stack Jacksonville late.
Hey, don't speak his name.
He's been getting steam. I don't know if he's going to make it back to you here.
Yeah, I know. I feel like a lot of the guys we like running back wise aren't going to make us back to here. I don't think Warren will make it back either.
Yeah, I've seen Warren go as high as 130, so he's definitely been moving up.
It makes so much sense. I'm glad we got it, both of us. I mean, we really got a bunch of him before his ADP skyrocketed.
Yeah.
I saw, I'm trying to remember I read through a tweet, and it might have been in the screenshot you actually sent me of people's ADPs who's rose the most. And I know McKinnon's was the highest, but I feel like Warren's was pretty high up there too. It was like 40 spots or something like that.
Yeah, because I think he started out at like 160 or 170, so he's been kind of steadily going up. Hope grabbed him here at 130.
Yeah, so these people getting with experience taking them early too. I think it says a lot.
Yeah. I did want to circle back. So the note that I found from The Athletic on the Washington backfield was that Brian Robinson is struggling in pass protection drills and with learning the new offense.
Yeah.
But then the clip that I saw today was him making a one-handed catch during practice. So
I think you and me both can confidently say we love Antonio Gibson at ADP right now.
Yeah, I don't think this draft was representative, but he has been moving up. He was going in the 120s, now he's in the 110s, and I think I like him more than Robinson, but I'm not going to get crazy with it just because Robinson does have more touchdown upside, I think. But then you've also got rookie running back Chris Rodriguez kind of lurking in the shadows there. I wouldn't be surprised because Brian Robinson was not very efficient last year, obviously coming off a gunshot wound, so you got to cut him some slack. But
yeah, he's just lucky to be in the situation he's in at all. Truthfully, not absolutely. In a aggressive way, but in a real way. Rondale flying up. I probably would have took Jay Willie there just because of the ADP value.
Yeah, it's fair. I've been on the Kendre side there, but I don't hate Jamal Williams by any means. I just have a hard time betting on him just with he ran so pure in the touchdown department last year.
Yay, I got lucky.
Man.
Got him for a change.
Not taking Adam Thielen, to tell you that much.
He's there.
I just talked about how I
round
don't like
past ADP.
Jalen Hyatt. Grab Osborne. Thinking receiver here. I don't want to reach that far for Jaden Reed. So I'll take Chark. Sorry to your Carolina stack.
It's all right. I have another plan. Don't you worry. So I got the triple stack for the Bengals. I guess we could go over our teams here real quick. I got Joe Burrow, Tony Pollard, Derrick Henry, Devin Cook, Tank Bigsby, Jamar Chase, Christian Kirk, Jahan Dotson, Zay Flowers, Juju, Zay Jones, Jonathan Mingo, and Irv Smith.
Any ideas where you're going in terms of roster construction here?
I am most likely looking at a 2, 5, 8, 3.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I'm sitting at Jalen Hurts, Kirk Cousins, Ramondre, Zach Charbonnet, A.J. Dillon, Eli Mitchell. At receiver, we've got Justin Jefferson, Michael Pittman, Chris Godwin, Treylon Burks, KJ Osborne, DJ Chark. And at tight end, I'm sitting at Dallas Goedert. So probably going to go 5 running back here. And then I could go either way between 8 wide receivers or 9. Goddard's a guy I'm perfectly happy doing a 2 tight end build with, but I'm kind of on the borderline between, I think, whether or not I need 8 or 9 wide receivers, I think.
Yeah. Yep, that's hard for me to disagree with. Yeah, I think I filled out my wide for going running back heavy early. I like the wide receiver room that I have. Because you and me are both very, very big on Dotson. I'm kind of leaning towards Dotson. Like, I drafted a lot of Terry McLaurin initially, and ever since I got on the Dotson hype train, I've kind of fallen off McLaurin because I really don't feel like they're going to have two different of seasons, at least from fantasy production standpoints.
Yeah, I know. I was watching Best Ball Breakfast with Peter Overzet and Sean Siegel today, and Sean Siegel was talking about how he's pretty out on Terry McLaurin as well, kind of for the same reasons you outlined. It just all three of those guys, McLaurin, Dotson, and Curtis Samuel, provided spike weeks last year. So, it's like, why not take the two cheaper options?
No, most certainly.
And Fantasy Football Garage commented he's in on Charbonnet as well. I know both of us, EJ, we've taken quite a bit of Zach Charbonnet.
I actually think he's one of my higher. How many picks are 9 away? I think he's one of my higher exposure running backs now. I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah, I'm sitting at 16%, so double the field on Zach Charbonnet right now.
Yeah, I'm at 19.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. Guess how much Miles Sanders I have?
Oh, God. 15%?
No, 19 as well.
Ugh.
Warren and Gibson are my highest, if that answers anything we just talked about.
Yeah, Warren is tied with Ramondre as my highest.
I really wanted Laporta there.
I did have a note. Sam Laporta caught 2 touchdowns at OTAs yesterday.
I bet he did. And he just caught my heart.
And the Lions Twitter account is calling the Laporta fans the Laporta supporters. So I can get behind that.
I have a feeling Laporta's going to be a my guy this year. Like, very, very strongly. Everything about him just seems so appealing. It was how I felt about Michael Mayer when we did our original video before all the drama happened with Jimmy G.
Yeah. I will say, this is probably as high as I'm willing to go on Laporta. Like, if he gets steamed up too much further, I'd probably back off.
No, I agree.
But yeah, he's obviously catching the 2 touchdowns at OTAs is just whatever. But they did say he's taking reps with both the first and second team, like not alternating, but just taking all of the reps, period.
You have to be kidding me.
Oh, no. An unstacked Bryce Young with Patrick Mahomes already in the fold.
I mean, I don't have any. I can. I need to pivot my pick here. That is extremely annoying.
Trying to think through if I have any obvious correlation stuff going here.
No, I missed one already that I shouldn't have.
All right, we'll grab Jeff Wilson and be done at running back.
I was going to go Jeff Wilson. I was not thinking. I should have went Mechie Stroud.
maybe I'm just drawing a blank because I'm on stream, but I'm not seeing a ton of obvious correlation for me right now. But I was deciding between Taekwon or Rashid Shaheed there. I like both of them. Taekwon's been rising quite a bit, so I'd rather continue to get my exposure while I can.
I'm just gonna do this because I talked about it. Yeah, Laporta has the opportunity to be the 2 in the offense for quite some time, at least the first 6 weeks.
Yeah, that snipe hurt. I feel for you on that one.
Well, then what I should have done was I should have gone Mechie, Stroud, with those 2 picks instead, and I blanked on it until after my pick, of course. And I was going to lead the Sam Howell way with my next picks. But now I don't have any like San Francisco game stack to even go with that. So unless I want to go Juwan Jennings or Jordan Mason.
Yeah, I do not like the late round San Francisco options. I took my fair share of Danny Gray last year and got absolutely nothing for it. So I should have thought this through. I was wondering if I'd maybe get lucky and have Dawson Knox come back around, but I'm thinking Hope's going to take him here.
Yep, sure enough. Dang, that's frustrating. This team was looking real good until that. My pride is definitely a little bit lower than what it was. Well, I do have one option I can go. Another one that the different game stack. Once again, we almost talked about it. I gotta see who you pick. You're the one that's gonna worry me here.
I know who one of the guys I'm taking with my next pick is.
You got 2 quarterbacks. I'm fine. I can.
Yeah, no, I'm done at quarterback.
Yeah, I'm like I don't have to think about that then. I do have. It's a gross stack, but it's definitely a stack.
Boy, Kyler is in absolute free fall in this room.
Yeah, I literally thought about taking him right there, too. But well, there you went. But I thought about taking him with that last pick as a maybe kind of situation, and then I could have took what is their rookie's name? Michael Wilson, right?
Yep.
Who I'm thinking of.
Yep. He's been getting some hype lately. I did take Greg Dortch in one draft.
The Dortch. Gotta love him. I actually I started him in Dynasty last year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right. I think I've got a pretty good idea of what I'm going to do with these 2 picks here.
I think I do too.
Were you going Chuba there?
Of course I was. I'm really happy I decided to do this draft.
Oh no!
Oh, you have.
Oh no!
No! It's okay. I pivoted from that plan. I did.
Oh, okay.
From that plan.
I thought that's who you were going for.
No. I pivoted there.
Have you been taking?
That's the same guy. That's the same guy that took. Oh no, it ain't. Never mind. You'll know where I'm going after my next pick, and this is not the pick I want to make by any means, but it will be a triple stack. It'll be a gross one, but it'll be a triple stack. It's Amir White. All right.
Ooh, all right.
I know I literally just talked about not wanting anything to do with it. I realize everything I just said, but given the circumstances I just had put in front of me, I mean, now here's the thing: do I go Deontay Foreman to round out my running back room, or do I push Mac Jones?
No, no. I think you take Mac Jones. Honestly, for content purposes, you should have tried to push it just so we could get the meltdown.
It would have been fun. I'm trying to think who else I would have gone. I guess the only lock and loaded start, Desmond Ridder might be good this year. That's a big might. It's definitely possible.
He and Howell, I have a hard time with just because we don't know if they're good and there's capable backups, but they also offer some rushing upside. So I've taken them a few times when it makes sense, but
man, this team. I don't have any Kansas City. I didn't take any Kansas City. I don't have either of my quarterbacks game stacked.
Yeah, that hurts. My stacks are far from the best. I've got Trey McBride with the Philly guys, and then AJ Dillon with my Vikings stack. I took Wandale because they played the Eagles in Week 16, and he's not my favorite Giants wide receiver, but almost 20 picks past ADP there.
Yeah,
happy to take him.
Man, I was gonna that when Bryce Young came off the board, my draft literally fell apart. My picks after that, no correlation with anything. I could have took a flyer on, Richie James at the end here instead to have the Kansas City correlation.
Like if you miss on the round 11 through 14 quarterbacks, it really feels like Stroud or Mac Jones are your backdoor options that you can feel confident in.
Well, it would even if I should have been smart. I really should have been. If I would have had my brain functioning all at once there, I could have gone Stroud, Mechie, and then had the game stack with Henry.
Yeah, that might be nice.
I might do one more draft.
Need redemption after.
I know this one hurt. And I think that is one thing that is important to remember about doing these drafts that you are going to have teams you hate.
Oh, dude, yeah. I've had my fair share of lineups where I'm like, I just lit $5 on fire.
And that's definitely what I did here. Man. That dude took 4 quarterbacks. I just took TMJ.
Oh, jeez.
6. He's got 6 wide receivers, and 3 of them have Week 13 buys. Interesting.
Oof. 6 wide receivers when you've got Odell, Jalen Hyatt, and then 2 late round wide receivers.
Yeah.
Risky business there.
This wouldn't be the worst thing for me if Gus fell back to me. That would make me a little happy. any dream.
You're just I need to quit talking. You're just speaking it into existence.
At this point, I don't like anybody. I could go Izzy A. That's probably my most upside pick at this point. Izzy or Cordero.
Yeah, I'm still debating if I want a 9th wide receiver or a 3rd tight end.
This guy might take his 11th. Oh, no way. I'm gonna get the Kansas City correlation. Obviously, how could I miss such an obvious pick here?
I like it.
If Clyde goes off the board right here,
An
I'm just gonna retire.
eighth running back, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. No, I actually like Clyde just because he has two paths to value in the Chiefs offense. So,
yeah.
Guys that I'm debating between here, Luke Musgrave is a third tight end option. Richie James, just because I like him in the Chiefs wide receiver room, or one of the Cardinals guys in Michael Wilson or Greg Dortch. So I think I'm actually going to take Musgrave here. He's been getting good reports out of camp. So that'll round out my team here. BJ, you want to recap your team real quick?
Not exactly, but I will. All right, so we got 2 quarterback, Joe Burrow, Mac Jones, 5 running back, Tony Pollard, Derrick Henry, Dalvin Cook, Tank Bigsby, and good old Clyde Edwards-Helaire to stress us out and probably not do a whole lot. Wide receiver room, Jamar Chase, Christian Kirk, Jahan Dotson, Zay Flowers, Juju Smith-Schuster, Zay Jones, Jonathan Mingo, and Curtis Samuel. A bunch of Washington people just doing nothing. Irv Smith, Taysom Hill, and Mike Gesicki at tight end.
Yeah, I mean, I think in terms of roster construction, your team worked out okay. I mean, you managed to build a team stack with the Patriots despite the fact that you got brutally sniped on Bryce Young there.
Yeah, like I said, I could have built around it so much better if I would have just had the overall view in my head like 10 seconds earlier. But I think your team turned out real good.
My team turned out perfectly fine. Jalen Hurts, Kirk Cousins, a running back room anchored by Ramondre, and then Charbonnet, Dillon, Mitchell, Jeff Wilson. Receivers, Jefferson, Pittman, Godwin, Burks, and then dropping down into more of the Flyers, KJ Osborne, DJ Tark, Tyquan Thornton, Wan'Dale Robinson. Tight end, Dallas Goedert, Trey McBride, and Luke Musgrave. So nothing crazy here. I did get both quarterbacks games stacked, and I got a decent value on Wan'Dale, but otherwise nothing too crazy on my side.
I mean, I like your teams a lot. Like I said, just on paper, at least it looks a lot better.
Yeah.
So, all right. I'm going to do one more.
All right. Before we do that, let's plug tomorrow night. We've got Best Ball Beginner First Draft. We're going to be doing a show with one of our league mates who's been playing with us for almost a decade now. So never done any best ball. No, not familiar with the tournament format, but we'll have him on and we'll see if we can keep things on the track there.
He's a lot of fun, and it's funny because I feel like all of his research is done about 3 days before all of our drafts.
Yep. Yeah, that part checks out. So that won't be live, but we should have it up probably between 7 or 8 o'clock Central Time tomorrow night. So definitely check that out. And be sure to like and subscribe here on the channel as well if you're new. Definitely having fun drafting along with people here. So would love to do more of it, and definitely give us a subscribe here. So EJ, if you're good to go, we'll hop in a draft here right now.
Do you enter now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Oh yeah, I got 7 more to fill, so we should be good.
Me too. 5. I think we're in there. I hope. Give me the 6 or 7 spot. Where do you want to go? Where do you predict you're going to go in this one?
I mean, I'm all for drafting in the top half just because I've had so much in the back. But at the same time, I can draft well-correlated teams like the back of my hand at the end of a draft.
You're drafting 1 spot behind me.
All right, looks like we're going head-to-head again here.
Yeah. This is like nasty. You know what's going to happen?
About our Eckler CMC takes. Should we expose those to the world now?
I mean, I feel confident in how I feel about it.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do.
I mean, I think I don't see why there's a gap between them. I know
Yeah,
you agree.
very
The
much.
splits with Eli Mitchell are concerning. Obviously, they didn't do it as much once McCaffrey was there, but we know San Francisco's not afraid to use Debo out of the backfield. Like,
Mhm.
I feel like the only reason Eckler's going back half the first is people were concerned about the trade rumors.
Right. Yeah, now that Eckler's for sure sticking in Los Angeles, there's no reason that he shouldn't be a top 5 pick in my eyes, or at least interswappable with McCaffrey as that early round pick. I mean, they're the same player. I think Eckler's 2 years older, actually, though. Does that sound right?
I thought CMC was getting up there. I'll look it up.
CMC is 27. I looked that up today at work for whatever reason.
I feel like Eckler's maybe 28. Yeah, 28. Just turned 28, so he'll be playing at 28 this year.
So they're around the same age, either which way. Same age. Eckler has a lot less of an injury history, and we definitely know that Eckler's quarterback is going to be efficient and healthy.
Yeah.
Apparently, I don't know how serious this shoulder injury was.
The other thing that's nice about where Eckler's going right now is you can take him, you can take your pick of Keenan or Mike Williams in the 4th, and then sometimes you'll get lucky and have Herbert fall to the late 5th. And that feels like a nice stack.
You know what's going to happen here, Aaron, don't you?
Yeah.
It's going to be me taking Eckler and you getting Bijan.
Taking Bijan. Yeah. I feel like we're in the same. I feel like we're in the same boat on the start of drafts here, and that we have Cooper Kupp 3rd and Tyreek 4th.
Yeah, I like if we were drafted in I know this is best ball, but like redraft, I would definitely pick Eckler before Hill. Still, that's me personally. But
yeah, I've talked about how I really only care about defensive stuff on the extremes, and Mike Clay has I feel like Kelsey doesn't fall that late.
No.
Mike Clay has Miami's cornerbacks ranked number 1 going into the season, and the Rams ranked 32nd. So like I feel like that's a meaningful difference between Kupp and Tyreek.
Definitely. You hit Kelsey. I might be making a pick against my better judgment here.
Yeah, I'm kind of in a weird spot. We got Devontae Adams at the top of the board right now, and then a couple of running backs or Jalen Waddle, Chris Olave.
Because next time we come around, we're at a really weird wide receiver spot.
Yeah, we're basically at the start of that flat tier, so I don't feel strongly on JT or Barkley, so I think I'm just going to grab Waddle and figure it out later.
I was definitely leaning Waddle, obviously. I want to go Olave solely for the fact that I need to build the wide receiver room, because if not, it's going to get awkward. And I think we'll be drafting around the spot where I can get some pretty safe game stacks between one of the 2 Tampa receivers. So,
That's a good thought there. Yeah, the only bad thing with taking Waddle here, or really in any case, because he usually goes before you get back to the Tyreek drafter, is I either have to reach on Waddle in the early 8th or hope that the Tyreek drafter lets him fall. Which
you mean Tua to drop?
Tua, yeah. What did I say?
Waddle.
Oh, yeah, meant Tua.
No, you got him locked and loaded already.
Yeah, Waddle in the 9th. That'd be great.
Yeah, if we get that, we'll all take it. I need to focus more on this one. Like, I'm legitimately, genuinely upset about like blowing the simple Houston stack. And I would have had both quarterbacks game stacked at the end, going Clyde, barring Clyde is one of the nastier of nasty stacks.
I will say I'm glad you hopped in another one because I think me trying to draft 2 at once on stream, I do not have the brain power for it. It would have been a train wreck.
I'm also going to blame whatever illness is tormenting me on that last draft. And that was a warm up to get my brain centered and focused again.
Yeah, there you go. So one guy with some notes from OTAs who we might have a chance at in this one is Breece Hall. And basically they're saying they're not sure, or the exact quote was, it would be a surprise if he's ready for day 1 of training camp. So he's a guy I'm underweight on right now, but I like the player. Just I'm waiting because I think he's going to fall more.
I think if I remember hearing everything right, that his timeline is supposed to essentially line up with week 1 to be a go.
Yeah.
So that's kind of scary at the front part of the season, but he could be one of those guys, for what reasons you said, that slips after a little while and then becomes a little more exciting.
Yeah, the early season stuff doesn't scare me off of him. It's just purely playing the ADP game. I think he's going to fall a little bit.
I'll say the quarterbacks are slipping a little bit more in this one. It feels like, oh, never mind. I had my thing slid way far in front. They're right at ADP.
Yeah.
I was like, I had it slid up to mine and it was 32. And I was like, man, I'm like, if Hurts is still there, I'm going to take him. And I mean, I'm going to stand by that statement, but
yeah, I feel like I don't really see Hurts falling past the mid third, but I mean the Devonta drafter just passed on him, so, and the AJ Brown drafter's late in the round here.
Yeah. If Hurts is on the board when it comes around, I mean that's a lock and loaded because it's going to be unique, quote unquote unique, at this point for me. I like drafting more like Jalen Hurts if I'm going to end up with a quarterback with a weaker game stack, simply for the fact that they could be, 40 points on their own. He could have 30 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah. I feel like one thing I learned my lesson with last year is with the rushing quarterbacks, like Hurts may be an exception, but with the Russian quarterbacks, you don't have to go crazy stacking them. Like you can just take a single stack and move on and like hope it's the right one. Because I feel like last year I went crazy with Fields and the Bears guys, and those teams just got buried.
Ridley off the board. Let's go ahead and stick with my true and tried favorite wide receiver here currently.
Man, I'll just keep drafting Ramondre if people are going to let me. I know I'm taking a wide receiver in the 4th, so I could go Jacobs, but I'll keep the flag planted on Ramondre here.
It's Denver, Los Angeles, right?
Yeah, Denver and the Chargers.
Okay, no reason. No, I might take one of these running backs if like Josh Jacobs is still there. I'm smashing that.
Jacobs in the 4th. I don't think I've ever seen that.
Dude,
he's still there. Jeez.
One spot before us too. I should have took that earlier.
Been taking more Keenan. Apologies if you wanted a Chargers stack there.
Nope, not right there. I could have had my choice. Oh, Underdog's letting me know that it's my pick.
I've been able to keep a better pace on getting my lineups for the puppy 2, so I'm not quite as deep in slow draft hell as I was with the puppy 1.
Yeah. No, I've done no slow drafts, and I've done that intentionally. A, because it saves me money right now, and B, I'm not getting into that again. Like I said, I don't even have one that I still have 3 picks left in a puppy 1 draft. That's ridiculous at this point.
I just feel like I have a harder time like following my vision when I do slow drafts. Like I can log in and make a pick that lines up with my current roster construction, but I feel like I have a harder time being like, okay, I'm gonna get this stack and this game stack and so on.
Yeah, this is what I actually wanted. I will say I prepared 3 bottles of water for this draft. I was like, with how like much better I feel, hydrated is amazing.
Yeah.
Dude, this guy's about to get Lamar
This is a
15 spots past ADP, and he's going to have the Andrews stack.
oh my god.
He's going to have Derrick Henry, Jamar Chase, Mark Andrews, and Lamar.
That's nuts. I don't think I've ever seen Lamar go this late.
And then
my god.
Godwin comes off 10 spots ahead. Wow. Wow. Well, we burnt $5 on this one.
that yeah. Get 2 games a year between Jamar Chase and those Ravens guys. That's going to be painful to keep up with.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, I love that one of my 2 guys that need the draft comes off the board.
Boy, Marquise, this is like people have definitely thrown the ADPs out the window in this room. Got Marquise going at the 4-5 turn, Godwin in the 4th.
Yeah,
I'm getting a little worried at wide receiver here. There's probably going to be some nice running back values for my pick, and I don't know if I can risk not taking 2 wide receivers here.
I got 3 that I like a lot, so I could pass on one here if I really wanted. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Boy,
I feel like
Tony in the early 5th. Whew.
Yeah, this is a weird one. This is really, really weird. I mean, I almost want to go Fields here.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate that. Let's see what we got on the board. Fields and Burrow falling.
Because I can still build. Oh, there's nobody else appealing from Atlanta unless you go Algier.
You get some 18th round Mac Hollins.
Yeah, that's something. All right, I don't have to think about that anymore. That makes me feel better.
That's good. I'm glad he came off the board because I was gonna have to.
I was thinking about going Herbert.
You got your guy here.
Yeah, I have enough of him though. I think I want to go Ken Walker past ADP. 7 spots past ADP feels okay.
All right. Well, I don't always draft Pittman. I'm between Pittman or Ayuk here. I like Ayuk more, but Pittman opens me up to my guy.
Yeah, for the I like a lot of the Pittsburgh people too going forward. So drafting Walker there opens me up to Deontay or Mike Evans with this next pick. And then worst case scenario, I go Lockett.
Boy, we've got Hawkinson and Kittle still on the board in the 6th round. The first round Travis Kelce kind of hurts right now.
Yeah. Which that's why I was thinking about going Kittle here. And then, but I don't know if I want to get the wide receiver because there's tight ends I like from all these teams that I have.
Yeah. Yeah, I felt like I had no choice but to double tap wide receiver there because by the time pick 87 rolls around with the way this room is going, I mean, we could be looking at Bateman and Sutton off the board by that point.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like this wide receiver room I got, and I already have the one game stack.
I typically want to have 5 by the time Bateman and Sutton are gone. Like if I do that, I feel comfortable doing 7 or 8 wide receivers. Boy, we got David Montgomery going early.
That guy's got drafts. Got 1,000 under his name. So that's hard to. I always wonder when excuse me. I thought I was going to die there for a second. My throat quit functioning on me. I literally thought there for a second that when these people pick weird spots like that, it makes me think that they're doing some sort of wheel challenge where we have to draft 2 rounds faster or before ADP or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, you get some weird stuff in these rooms, even from the badges sometimes.
Mm-hmm. All right. You don't pick before me, so I guess I can talk about where my brain's going. Well, my brain's a little off. I'm obviously looking at George Pickens, Jahan Dotson. That makes a lot of sense for game stacks. Also looking Quentin Johnston as my safety net pick. I think those 3 guys, all for game stacks that I got going.
You see the guy in the 3 spot here? 6 straight wide receivers to start the draft. Now that's my kind of team right there.
Well, he's taken D-Hop around before ADP, Godwin around before ADP, JSN 9 before ADP. So he's probably got it to this point and saw.
Yeah, I guess the only case you could make for that is taking Godwin and JSN there. You're pairing, or D-Hop for that matter, you're pairing him with Tyreek and Devonta. That's probably going to be pretty unique.
Yeah, well, yeah. Are you going to get any points at running back?
Oh, dude, I think you could totally get. I mean, you could take running back in the 8th or 9th and still be fine.
All these guys that were my safety net aren't looking so safe anymore.
I didn't think Pickens was going to get back to you. I feel like he does not get past the 6-7 corner that often.
No, I mean, Johnson, like I said, was my end-all, be-all, but I don't like that these guys in front of me got 2 wide receiver and the other guys got 3, so it does not look pretty. I do have, well, let's click this. I know where this, okay, I was going to take Pitts there if he got to me. I'm like, I can't pass on that again. No.
Oof.
Why is this happening? Okay. So who else are we looking at here? I really don't want Cooks. This is not a fun time for me. I think I'm gonna go Waller, just because we can draft Rams later pretty safely. I'm not in love with any of the running backs on board, and that was my whole theory of picking Hawkinson as much as I did earlier.
Yeah. Bateman was an easy pick for me there, staying ahead of the wide receiver cliff and correlating him with Waddle.
Right. If this guy there's a couple guys I'm okay with getting still. Because, like, worst case, I can go Michael Thomas, Sutton here because I already built that game stack. And that
I think Sutton makes sense for you here.
You're basically saying don't take Michael Thomas.
Yeah, anybody but him. All right, obviously, I could push it. I've seen A-Rich. I've gotten him to fall into the hundreds before, but that feels like a reach, even though, I mean, a lot of this room has quarterbacks already, so I could chance it. Don't love any of the running backs here. I mean, Rachaad White, James Conner would probably be who I look at, but I'll just take more Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, like I said, my pick's pretty basic here. Build that game upside. Believe in Russ. In Russ, we trust.
There you go, dude. On one of the stream drafts last night, I had the Judy and Sutton double stack and got sniped by Russ one pick before he was at ADP.
That's real pain. Pacheco is one guy that literally just keeps falling and falling and falling and falling. It's crazy to me.
Yeah, I do not. Let me see how much I've taken him, but I don't think it's much. Again, I think I'm at 3%. So I just feel like I'd rather have an Akers, even though the offense is worse. Like, I don't feel all that confident that Pacheco is going to get all the work.
No, I feel that.
Now, if he was consistently going at this ADP, I feel like I'd be more likely to take him. But I feel like he's usually going early 7th. His ADP is 80, so mid 7th.
I'm looking at my next two picks, and I definitely like one of them. I'm definitely scared about one of them. There's going to be a whole lot of we'll see, though.
Looking at my team here and feeling pretty good with only going 2 quarterback, 2 tight end. So it's just a question of how I play out the running backs and wide receivers.
Yeah, I am definitely borderline 2 quarterback right now. Because I could go like Danny Jones right here if I wanted with my next pick, and then try to get someone like Russ or Derek Carr when it comes back around.
Yeah.
And just
I feel like I have a tendency to push the 2 quarterback rooms a little bit too thin. Like, I think, like you, I'd probably try for 2 if I got Daniel Jones, but at the end of the day, that might be a little bit thin.
I mean, he was a quarterback 9 last year.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive.
I just don't think you're going to get a lot of consistency out of him. and that's where having the 3 could be handy. But like, trust me,
Yeah.
I've built a lot of 2 QB rooms that are worse than Daniel Jones. Like, I think I've done a Russ Kenny Pickett team. Like, that feels too thin.
I feel like I've done that too. I feel like I've sent that to you.
Probably.
and felt confident about it.
I just think having that extra running back or wide receiver for the playoffs when you have to go high scoring, like, it's nice having an extra bullet at those positions. Ooh.
You have to be kidding.
Ooh.
All right. I mean, this locks in that I gotta go.
Oh.
I'm not risking at that point. I know it's a little bit of a reach, but well, not really. Five spots.
Oh shit! I'm on the clock.
5. Yeah.
What the? We'll take James Cook. I don't know why. I thought you got sniped on Danny Jones. I'm over here laughing at you.
No, I got sniped on Russ.
Yeah, I saw that, and then I thought you immediately got sniped on Daniel Jones too.
No, I think I would have just got up and walked out the room at that point. And I probably would have had enough.
EJ has permanently retired from
It's been a fun ride, but I don't think I can handle it anymore. So who you gonna take here?
So I'm looking Pirine here.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have anything lined up for Washington or Philly. Otherwise, I consider those guys. I'm pretty much out on Kamara at his price, but Pirine gives us the week 17 with Keenan. I will say, like, I made the case on our
Thank you
division by division show that we did. Like, I don't love Pirine just because like he could be having a diminishing role in the playoffs as Javonte gets back. But I think if we get bad news on Javonte going into camp, Pirine gets steamed up. So
yeah,
I keep taking him now just so I don't have to take him later when he's a top 100 pick.
No, makes total sense. So my game stacks are coming along very nicely. I got the Chargers, Denver. Pretty sucks about Russ since that guy took Russ with no wide receivers.
Well, now he took Marvin Mims 40 spots ahead.
Oh, that's good for him. I'm glad he got his stack. I need to get a Pittsburgh stack somewhere along the line. I don't hate last round Allen Robinson by any means. Got Washington, San Francisco, Tampa, New Orleans. Got to look for some Rams stackage there.
I've been taking some Puka Nacua in the 18th round.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know who you're talking about, but I don't know anything about him.
A 4th round pick out of Penn State. That's about all I know.
And he's got a fun name to say.
That's right. I've taken Tutu a couple times as well. I just don't like betting on him because he's so small. He's just outlier small. So.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I feel you. Kamara really be slipping right now.
This is about the point where I'm like, okay, I'll add him in.
Well,
boy, that's a fun team from the 3 spot.
Yeah.
6 straight wide receivers, Tua stacked with Tyreek, and then you go Javonte and Kamara. I mean, that's high risk, high reward. That's how you win a tournament with 200,000 lineups.
Yeah, no joke.
I think I would have taken Geno if he made it all the way back to me. I figured that was going to be a stretch, but
yeah, how many spots did Geno go past? Only 6.
Yeah, he's him and Tua are both mispriced to me.
Mm-hmm.
I think they should both be going higher. Now I understand why people don't want to end up with like 20% Tua, But if you're making that bet on drafting him, you're drafting him as if he's going to be healthy. In which case, like I feel like he'd be going in the Watson, Trevor Lawrence, kind of that gap there.
Yeah, no, I would. That makes total sense. I do have to look at a couple guys here. All right. I have a plan and I have a backup plan. I'm like trying to foresee these things before they happen this time around.
Yeah. I've got a couple guys I'm considering here.
I don't think I was thinking about this pick. I think I was thinking about the next pick, which that's not a good thing. Where are we at? I'm gonna go ahead and take Nico for a change. I don't have a whole lot of them.
I'm wanting to go 5 running backs on this team, so I'm going to grab Kendre here.
That's a good pick. I was going to be looking at Greg D with. Well, I guess I probably would have went Russ, Greg D here if I would have got that on.
Jacoby was the other guy. He was 12 spots past ADP, and he would have paired with my Indy stuff and Kelsey for week 16. But I just not a fan of Jacoby Myers in that range.
No, that's where my brain's at too. I feel like
I could grab my guy Jalen Warren here. Could grab Rashee Rice and keep building on the Chiefs. Just looking to see if I have anything else correlation-wise. Already have Pittman, so I don't feel the need to force Alec Pierce on this team.
Thank you. When you said that, I was just my eyes probably got big, and I was like, "Don't do that."
I should have looked over.
I was like, "That doesn't sound like a good idea." Now I at least got a little bit of game correlation there with Seattle. Not the exact correlation I want, being 2 running backs, but it is game correlation with. I got the 2 guys I have the most of in my running back room back to back there, so that makes me happy.
Let's see. So that came in. That game in Pittsburgh or Seattle?
Let's have it be
it's at Seattle. So
I hope
you just gotta tell yourself the story.
It's
pouring rain. Jalen Warren and Kenneth Walker just trade touchdowns for 4 quarters, and you win all the money.
That would be nice. I would not be upset about that whatsoever. So I think I have everything game stacked right now besides Nico and Darren Waller.
Yeah, and those are both teams with at least a few options left on the board still.
One guy I like in particular.
Definitely got
Tennessee. Tennessee, you can pretty much get anybody whenever you want it.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I have no idea who's. Oh, it's Chig. I was trying to think. I was like off the top of my head. I'm like, who's Tennessee's tight end? I'm like, and I looked up at the screen and I was like, oh yeah,
there he is.
He's on my dynasty team.
Have you been drafting Chig much? I don't think I have.
There was a couple drafts I intentionally took him. I don't think he's anywhere near the top for me. I got 7%.
Yeah, I'm at 6. So that's honestly higher than I thought. That's just not a spot that I'm looking to take tight end. So
you know how I thought I was really, really in on Hawkinson compared to like anybody else.
Yeah.
I have Isaiah Likely and Hawkinson are my second most at 15%. And my highest is Laporta at 30.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Number one, Laporta Supporta.
right. All in on the boy. No, I do like Laporta a lot. Like I said, especially for the first 6 weeks. By then, hopefully, he's cemented himself kind of a role, at least as a red zone target. Especially where we're drafting at right now. I think it's real pretty.
Yeah. Well,
I really might go
Pierce is
2-6. I'm not taking Pierce here. So that's
3 spots away.
I really might go 2-6-8-2 here. Potentially, maybe.
Yeah, I think 2 tight ends definitely makes sense for you here.
And we'll kind of see how things come around on the board.
Well, I talked about not having to double stack the Russian quarterbacks, but when you're going to give me Alec Pierce around past ADP, I will take it.
Yeah, no, that one is very hard to argue against. No, I pushed Derek Carr there.
Oh.
That sucks. It's okay.
That one hurts.
Not really. Now it does. Why? He literally just took both my quarterbacks.
He's got Akers and no Saints. Unstacked Derek Carr.
That's.
I feel like this is how most of my non-stream drafts have been going.
All right, we need to refocus in on what we're doing.
All right, I grabbed Singletary to round out my running back room.
I really need to make a decision here. I could go. Juwan Johnson seemed a lot less. I could go Hyatt, and he's technically way past ADP, but nobody likes him. I think I am going to go Juwan Johnson just because I haven't taken him a whole lot. Get a little bit of change.
Yeah, he kind of pairs in there.
Right.
Let's see.
Yeah, everything I have right now besides
New
Houston
Orleans
is game stack.
New Orleans, the Giants, and the Rams are a nice little trio because they kind of mix with each other during the playoff weeks there.
Hold on. Did that guy that took both the quarterbacks? So you got Cam Akers, no other Rams.
And no Saints.
No Giants. My heart, it hurts today. Very, very bad.
I'm realizing that I'm kind of in rough shape for a second quarterback here. We both are.
I mean, I'm not in a terrible. I have a plan. I'm queuing up a bunch of guys here. I still have game stackable people too, so it's not terrible.
Ooh, Tannehill in the 14th. There's
no one of my game stacks.
I do not. I do not like Tannehill at all.
No. I wasn't taking him. that was not the route I was going. I should get one of two guys for sure, so that I'm going to. I'm sure glad I didn't go that route this time. You tried to get me. All right, I need to watch the people in between us. So you have one QB. I need to look at your team specifically.
I have nothing. I don't have a single wide receiver that can be stacked right now.
Oof. So that means there's one you can build around.
Pretty much.
I have two. I have three, actually. And I'm not worried about the third one getting taken by anybody. But I feel like I should be after the way everything has gone. Now, is it ironic? I wore the Giants hat first time in my life, and I got probably my second or third share of Daniel Jones. This is the team. I might have to go 3 quarterback now.
I was having the same thought.
I'm telling you, I'm hoping Wan'Dale falls the rest of the way here. That's who I want. All right, I was going to had Curtis Samuel in my queue, but that's not the one I was worried about. Sweet. That is A-okay with me. I have a feeling I'm about to be sad.
Take Pickett.
Okay, I'm not sad.
Go with that late round disgusting Allen Robinson that you mentioned at the top.
Hey, what if I wanted to go him? What if I wanted to go 9 wideouts?
I mean, it was basically Pickett or Mac Jones for me.
I really want to go Tajay here to finish out that game stack, but I don't know if I want to push CJ Stroud. That's scary.
That is
not
very scary.
I think Tajay is more likely to fall.
Oh shit, I'm on the clock. Done at running back. Probably done at quarterback. Oh yeah, Michael Mayer. I was planning on him this whole time.
Sweet. Yeah,
you can get him in the 18th round a lot.
And it seems pretty safe that Jimmy G is going to be playing. Apparently, I heard news about that.
Yeah. Honestly, I considered going 3 QB with
damn it.
Jimmy G, but it's just like my problem with this tier of quarterbacks, the Jimmy G, the Kenny Pickett, the Mac Jones, is like they all offer you a floor without much ceiling.
Yeah.
So once I have one of them on my team, I don't feel like I want multiple.
So I'll be missing out on one game stack here. That sucks.
Yeah, you're pretty much looking at Kyle Phillips. Honestly, I don't hate this Hassan Haskins either, but I know you're a pretty big Tajay fan. So.
Yeah. Well, and I do like my running back room. Like, I feel like the part that sucks is, and I know we're not like heavy on bye weeks or whatever, but I got Eckler and Walker on bye week 5.
Yeah, that hurts. I've had a few drafts where, like, tight end, I don't care. But I've had a few drafts where my quarterbacks are on the same bye, and I get to the end and I'm like, oh, shoot, didn't know this.
Oh, I better double check that. Ooh, okay, I'm safe. This is a different draft for me because I definitely don't have a lot of these guys. Man, Mechie's fallen so late. I wish I wouldn't have gone Nico. I wish I would have gone somebody else.
Yeah, Mechie is a guy who I've been trying to get more of. I think he's a nice click.
See who else I could have got around that range. Nobody I'm like in love with. So I feel okay. Oh, there he went. So still, he went way past ADP. 22 spots. That's insane.
All right, I think I've got my last 2 picks lined up here. I feel pretty confident that I'm going to get both of them.
I'm doing the dirty that I never expected to do here in a second. Well, I don't know if you'll remember, but last time I said I was going to do it, I said I finally built up the courage to do it, and it got pulled out, swept right underneath my feet.
Well, Chase Brown, I did not expect him to get back to me here. He would have been a really nice addition with having 2 guys from the Chiefs.
No, I'm sorry. I don't think I would have gave you that one. I think that would have.
Well, that honestly makes me feel better than
yeah.
I didn't get my hopes up too high.
Because I'll say that's definitely the running back I like most out of this group. There is one other running back I do like that pairs okay. So now whether he plays a whole bunch or not, that's going to be scary, but we'll see. And I feel safe about getting him. I've pretty much gotten him in every draft that I've wanted him in. At least the quarterback game stack that I don't have is Houston, Tennessee. That makes me feel a little bit better.
Because of the fact that a lot of times I'm backdoor stacking Stroud, he is one guy where I miss the game stack a lot because he and Tajay go right next to each other. I mean, we saw it in this draft.
All right. I'm doing it.
Nice. He was on my radar. I just didn't have, you've got a Washington piece, so it makes a little bit more sense. All right, we'll take.
And Debo.
Allen Robinson feels absolutely disgusting, but I'm not leaving a draft without my quarterback stack.
This guy's taking probably his 4th quarterback right here that he doesn't need, that doesn't have game stack. Man,
Ritter.
I can't believe that he literally took both quarterbacks I needed.
He stacked Taysom Hill with Derek Carr, and he has an unstacked Desmond Ritter. Those are some life choices there. All right, I'm gonna do it. Travion Williams for the Chiefs stack.
Zach Evans for the Giants Rams.
Nice.
Round it out. So yeah, I like this team a lot more than the last one. I'm glad I did this one, excluding that double quarterback snipe. I think it turned out real good.
All right, I'll let you recap your team here.
All right, so for a change, we got Daniel Jones, CJ Stroud, Brock Purdy. 3 guys I actually don't have a whole lot of in general. Austin Eckler, Ken Walker, Antonio Gibson, Jalen Warren, my 2 favorite running backs, and kind of my late round favorite running back in Zach Evans. I got a lot more than him. Don't know why. He just seems like he keeps popping up for me. Chris Olave, Deebo Samuel, Jerry Jeudy, Mike Evans, Courtland Sutton, Nico Collins, Van Jefferson, Wan'Dale Robinson. That wide receiver room sounds real good, saying it. And then tight end, Darren Waller and Juwan Johnson.
I like that team a lot for you. Mine ended up being Anthony Richardson, Kenny Pickett, a running back room of Ramondre, James Cook, Samaje Perine, Kendre Miller, Devin Singletary, and Travion Williams. Wide receiver room, Waddle, Keenan Allen, Michael Pittman, Tyler Lockett, Rashad Bateman, Rashee Rice, Alec Pierce, and Allen Robinson. And at tight end, Kelsey and Michael Mayer. So aside from being a little bit weak on the Kenny Pickett stack, I think my team turned out all right.
Yeah, I don't say I couldn't relate more. It's with the game stack essentially with Stroud and Nico. So
I want to see how this guy who started with 6 wide receivers finished out the draft. So he went Tua, Tannehill, Javonte, Kamara, Damian Harris, Jamal, Gus, Chase Brown. Chase Brown, 20 picks past ADP.
Yeah, that's got to feel real good.
I mean, he did it the way you should do it. His tight end room, kind of gross, but I mean, he only took 1 more receiver after starting with 6. So that's how you got to do it if you're going to do it that way.
No, I mean, I guess he's playing on that his like 3 wide receiver and then your flex are going to boom to cover the tight end spot. And I mean, he's got stable-ish running backs.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, it's been fun. We'll wrap this one up here. Coming up right against Ship Jason starting up over there. So if you're still here watching, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Definitely want to have people join us for drafts as we continue here on Best Ball Summer. But thanks for watching. And any final thoughts, EJ?
Nope. Happy drafting.
All right. Have a good one, everybody.